Good morning, world. This is Podcast 101. Today's episode talks about the status of podcast in the country. The word podcast, rooted from the words iPod and broadcast, is a program made available in digital format for automatic downloading over the internet. Podcasts have been a popular trend in the United States and have started to gain fame in the Philippines as a reliable source of information and entertainment. Among the popular podcasts in the Philippines are usually radio programs such as The Morning Rush on RX 93.1, BNO Podcasts on Magic 89.9, technology podcasts such as Yugatech and Filipino Pod 101, TEDx, and those which are created by Christian churches, which serve as the people's weekly spiritual feeding. Due to the prevalence of podcasts, some investigative journalism pieces of the hard-hitting and in-depth Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism have actually turned their news reports into shorter, graspable, and thought-provoking podcasts. Journalist Vince Lamorena cites her podcast choice and her reasons for listening to those.
I sometimes listen to podcasts when it's about like lectures. For example, if there are webinars that I missed, so parang they usually post like a podcast of the event after. So if you missed like an event, at least you can get to listen or at least watch whenever they post a podcast. But there's no specific podcast that I follow. So because there are a lot of shows like radio shows and lectures talaga online that you can find.
In your field today, does it help you become a better journalist?
So, no, not really. But then I get to listen to thought leaders, but not necessarily help me in field in journalism. But then it does spark different opinions and different practical stuff. So that's one of the reasons why you actually listen to podcasts is to learn.
Lamorena cited the fact, however, that she is not that inclined to listening to podcasts compared to reading books and watching television.
We're more of visual people. So if there are videos available, and I don't know, Mo Twister's show is a podcast because he's currently based in the US right now. He only made a podcast because of the distance and the time zone, time difference. But then podcasts, just like the other YouTube videos, in abroad and in the Western culture, they really produce and make content for it.
But Lamorena does not close doors yet. Podcasts, she said, still have a future in the Philippines.
But it's just really about introducing it first, and the introduction really having a really good content and something that's more on the entertainment side, not just like this educational side, which is what we have currently.
There is a lot to learn from podcasts, and it just takes a click for one to discover the exciting things it could offer. This is Jody Agoncillo, and this is your Podcast 101. Good morning, world. This is Podcast